Hello again, and welcome back to the Texas High School Coaches Association Convention at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. I'm Mark Kusenberger from Texas Sports Productions, and we are joined by Blaine Pederson, head coach of the Madison Mavericks. Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on a fine season last year. I believe it was the first winning record for Madison since the Jim Streety era, first playoff victory since the Jim Streety era. Tell us about getting the program back to that standard that I know that community has held for a long time.
Well, I think the biggest thing for us was getting those kids to believe in themselves, that they could go win football games again. We played tough the year before, and we just couldn't finish games. And we worked these guys extremely hard, and they bought into what we were doing, had a great attitude, and then it helps when you got good athletes. We had a lot of good players in that senior class, and they showed up and won some games for us.
You bring up an interesting thought for me, Coach, when you talk about getting guys to believe in themselves. It's hard for some of us to imagine that with Madison because for so long they were having such great playoff runs.
Yep.
And I guess it's a testament to coaches like Jim Streety that they were able to do that for year after year, decade after decade, because looks like if that's not kept up, it can evaporate very quickly, and you're starting over again with a community that used to have such pride and such strong football.
Well, there was a lot of tradition over there at Madison High School, a lot of high expectations, and Coach Streety and those assistant coaches, which I was a part of for a while, they worked extremely hard themselves to make that the tradition, but it doesn't take long for those kids to forget where they're at and what they're about and how to win those games. And it was just 4 or 5 years, whatever that was, of losing seasons, and we were able to flip it around last year, and hopefully if these kids that we have been working hard enough in this off season, then hopefully we can continue that.
How much did your tenure in the past at Madison help you get this generation of players ready to be a playoff team once again?
Well, I just think that my experience there with that community, knowing those expectations, having been on being a part of some great football teams there at Madison in the past, helps. But bottom line, it's all about those individual kids, achieving and doing the things they need to do to have success.
Yeah, Dante Hagan's a tremendous athlete for you, a quarterback, and won the district against Reagan, partly because Hagan's threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown pass. That's a lot of positions to try to replace there in a sense.
Well, Dante was a great player for us. There's no doubt about it. And we had a lot of other good players too. Our offensive line was tremendous last year, and we lost all those guys as well. So we got a lot of positions that we need to fill. We're going to definitely miss him. But we got a quarterback, Mike Garza. He's got a chance to be. He may not be Dante Hagan's, but he's going to be a real good Mike Garza. And we got some good skill guys. Darian Gill at running back, Anthony Cleaver at receiver, and R.J. Kyle, who's returning. And we got some good young guys. And then our offensive line, we got a few guys that are going to step up and strengthen that area of our offense, and I think we have a chance to be okay.
Tell us a little bit about the defense. It's easy to talk about offense with Madison because they have such a tradition of dynamic playmakers on that side of the ball, but you got to stop the other team from scoring if you're going to win games.
Oh, absolutely. And last year we took some huge strides defensively and played a lot better football on that side of the ball, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Dante's brother, Deshaun Hagans, is one of our he's a 3-year starter at safety. Going to do a great job for us. George Johnson also is a returning guy. We got some good football players on the defensive side of football as well, and I expect them to continue the steps forward that they started last year to have another good year.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of your kicker last year.
Graham Torres.
Yes. Special teams, I guess kick returns have been a great tradition at Madison as well. But as I recall, one of the reasons you beat Reagan is field position because Graham Torres could not only kick it to the end zone. I seem to recall 3 kickoffs that landed inside the O in Northeast in the end zone because he could work that precisely and had that strong a leg and was that reliable. So what's next for the special teams for the Madison Mavericks? That kind of talent's difficult to replace too.
Oh, yeah, no, he was tremendous. For 2 years, he was a great kicker for us, and we're definitely going to miss him for sure, and that's a big part of what we do is our special teams. We've had several guys from our soccer team come out this last spring, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have another guy or two that have the ability to put the ball down there. And then punting-wise, we like I mentioned him earlier, George Johnson does a great job punting the football, and so he'll be that guy for us. And we have a deep snapper, Valen Penn, he's a very highly recruited young man at that position. And if you got a good snapper and put the ball down, you got a chance to convert on special teams.
There's so many aspects to this game, and we think we're being thorough if we talk about offensive linemen, and they certainly merit attention as well. But the detail that goes into the sport, especially on special teams, that deep snapper, I know there's a number in terms of time that if the holder does not have the snap down at 1.4 seconds, there's no point in kicking it because you can't block on rushing rushes that way.
Right.
Describe, if you can, some of the scope that goes into being a great team, because you do see teams that, great offense, great defense, special teams, something like that can cost them victories.
Well, you got to be good in all 3 phases of the game, and everybody focuses on offense and defense, and sometimes that special teams gets ignored a little bit. But even this year, this summer, we've been able to do skills work throughout the summer. New ruling this year, which has been great for us, and we've taken a part of every one of those sessions and continued working our skills part on the special team side of the ball, and we expect them to do a good job, and hopefully that's an area that is a plus for us this season.
You're also the athletic coordinator, of course, so that means you're looking at all the sports, and you want that synergy among your programs, all the boys programs and all the girls programs. And I know it goes beyond finding one of the soccer players and saying, hey, son, how'd you like to try kicking a ball with points on it? There's a lot more to what you're doing there.
Well, yeah, no, we're no, you got to have a strong leg first off to have a chance, but then they have to work at it. You got to have the right kid with the right mental makeup that knows that it's different than just kicking a soccer ball and that he's going to work at it. And we've got some guys that do that. They've been working throughout the summer trying to perfect what they do kicking a football, and we think those guys will be good for us this year.
Well, last question. The crossover athlete. I sense that Texas high school football is by and large blessed by the idea that coaches want their players to play multiple sports. You have enough students at Madison that you probably could have kids specialize if that's what you want. But
right.
It seems like so much is lost if you limit a player to one sport, because they can help in so many ways. It's better for the teams, better for the coaches, better for the community, better for the kids.
Yeah.
Tell us about fostering that environment at a school as large as Madison.
Yeah. Well, at Madison High School, we want every sport to have a chance to have success. And we know that in football, we have the majority of the better athletes in the school. And we do our part as coaches in encouraging them to be in multiple sports. We talked about Dante Hagens earlier. He's a 3-sport letterman, played football, basketball, and ran the state meet in the track. We had Jalen Battles a year before that, was first team all-district in football, basketball, and baseball.
I was surprised he didn't take up equestrian or something, because he probably would have been fine at just about anything he wanted to try.
No, he's a great athlete, but that's what we expect at Madison. We want those kids to be part of all those programs. We push them that direction, and there's benefits from being in the weight room, but there's a lot more benefits from those kids competing every day throughout the year, and getting out there and performing, and we put a lot of stock in that, and we anticipate that continuing at Madison High School.
Well, Coach Pederson, we thank you very much for joining us. Good luck this season.
Yes, sir.
I know we'll see you down the road. Several Madison games will be on Texas Sports Productions. perhaps audio only. They might turn up on video as well, so keep an eye on the schedules, and you will definitely see the Madison Mavericks in action or hear them in action on Texas Sports Productions. We'll be back with more after this break. And I'm Mark Kusenberger with TexasSportsProductions.com.